topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show where we bring you the top experts in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Today is a very special day. One of our longtime experts, one of our most popular experts. We are going to be modulating this show throughout the country, whereas in the past we've done individual cities and states. This is our first show doing the entire country. And let me tell you, whether it's weight loss or hormone replacement, functional medicine, we have the most incredible physician. And I cannot wait to tell you his incredible story. Let me welcome you, our friend, our longtime expert, Dr. Eldred Taylor. Good morning, Dr. Taylor.
Wow, good morning. I was wondering if you were really talking about me. I was waiting to see who you were.
Dr. Taylor, I got to tell you, I love doing your show. And I love doing your show because what you do is so different than your normal MDs do today, because you went to some of the greatest schools, you got some of the greatest training, and you had a successful practice, and you changed almost in midstream to an area of medicine that is so important. And I, of all people, realize when you're overweight or you have this, I hope people understand this. If you feel something is not right in your body and the doctors tell you, you know, you're fine, you're okay, let me tell you, when you functional medicine, I think it to me is one of the most important areas of medicine. Dr. Taylor, tell people how you got started.
Yeah, well, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. My father was a minister. I'm the youngest of 6 children, and went to Vanderbilt University in Nashville. From there, I came to Atlanta to go to Emory to medical school, and finished medical school, stayed there and did a residency in obstetrics and gynecology, and practiced obstetrics and gynecology just like I was taught in my residency program for about 6-7 years, until my wife, who's also a physician, we got married right after medical school, but my wife started to have these hormonal issues. You know, as you get older, with women, sometimes you get these hormone issues, PMS, menstrual cycles not, regular. And I was telling her she needs to do what I was telling the patients. Hey, we can use birth control pills. We can try, whatever. We can try whatever. But it wasn't working. The birth control pills weren't working. She was still having all these mood swings and things. And I actually had a patient that came in and told me, you had put me on these birth control pills, but I did a little research and I found out about this progesterone and saliva testing. Here's a audio tape, and that's how long ago it was. We were still using cassette tapes. Here's an audio tape about progesterone and female hormones. So I never put the tape in the car. My wife saw it and she put it in and started listening to it and said, I think this guy is talking about the problems that I'm having. And I said, okay, well, I'll listen to it. So the next day I listened to it, and it was the moment that my career changed and my thought process changed. It was talking about how do you actually measure hormones and how do you manage hormones with women. And the way you do it is through saliva testing, because the only way you can balance something is you have to measure it. And believe it or not, in a whole residency in obstetrics and gynecology, we never measured hormones. We just gave people birth control pills. We gave them Premarin. We gave them Provera. We never measured anything. And I said, if you went to a doctor and he had you on blood pressure medicine and the doctor never checked your blood pressure, you wouldn't take blood pressure medicine from that doctor. So why would you take hormone replacement and never let someone measure your hormones or measure them correctly? Because if you measure them in blood, which we never did, we never measured it in blood because it didn't show you anything. So it was just useless to measure it. So you just gave them some hormones and see what happened. But if you measure it, you can see exactly what's going on. You can correct it. You can retest it and make sure it's in balance. And the patient will start feeling in balance. And that's what you're talking about, is that you feel like something's wrong. And the doctor keeps telling you there's nothing wrong. Well, what the doctor is really telling you is that you haven't met the criteria of being sick, okay? But he's not telling you that you're not functioning at a normal level or at a previous level that you used to function at, because there's a big difference between being well and being sick. And the doctor is trying to make sure that you have not crossed the sick threshold, but you have a lot of dysfunction on the way to being sick. And we want to try and correct that dysfunction so that you can go back to functioning normally again and not wait until you're sick.
Well, I got to tell you, Dr. Taylor, that I love how you developed your practice, and we are going to have so many things to talk about. We're going to be talking about weight loss, and it's really it's sad that weight loss contributes. In my case, it's caused me to have urinary problems, kidney problems, sleep apnea, high blood pressure. And you know what? It is so important how you take care of your body. Dr. Taylor, we had a interesting text that came in, knew about your show, and it's from one of the new markets. He wanted to know how you treated COVID when COVID was around.
Okay. All right. So that's a controversial thing. So, but anyway, we'll go there. Well, here's what I'll do.
You know what, Doctor? I don't think it's a lot of the new things that are coming out about COVID now. I mean, even they said now that they didn't know for sure if masks really worked or not. I mean, we're first hearing about that now.
Yeah. So, so how did I treat people during COVID before there was vaccines or anything? Well, the best way to fight off anything that can harm the body is to have a strong immune system. So the three components that really help the immune system is good gut bacteria, probiotics. Vitamin D helps to support the immune system, and vitamin C. Okay, so those are the three things that we were advocating. And if you were really concerned about it, or if you were recovering, we would give high dose vitamin C. This is how in China, when this all started and they were building hospitals and all this stuff, they were giving their patients in the ICU 25 grams of vitamin C IV every day for 5 days. And a significant amount of those people were leaving the ICU and they were fine. So that's, and the NIH actually started a study because of that. I'm not sure what that, after the vaccine came out, NIH, nobody cared about vitamin C anymore. So, but anyway, we treated people with 25 grams of vitamin C. Now, we didn't treat active COVID patients. we would treat a lot of patients who had finished COVID because at that point in time, we don't remember how scary it was. We didn't want anybody who had positive COVID to come in the office. But if they had been negative and having this post-COVID syndrome, we treated with vitamin C. But as a prevention strategy, we told people get adequate, make sure your vitamin D level is okay. The gut, and you may not understand this or know this, but the gut is very important in your immune system. And then vitamin C is of ultimate importance. But that's how we told people to protect themselves against our decrease of chances of getting COVID. We actually got a letter from the Federal Trade Commission prior to the vaccine coming out, telling us we had to take that down. And never did we say it treated COVID. We just said build your immune system. But they didn't like the fact that I think they didn't like the fact that somebody was giving them an alternative to getting vaccines. But this was before the vaccines were even actually available to the public. So it wasn't like I was telling people not to get vaccines. I was just saying, hey, until we do something better, you got to build up your immune system. And that's a part of functional medicine, is that we try to help the body do what it's supposed to do. We don't try to take the place of the body by giving you medications that your body doesn't even recognize. So the body is a great machine. You just gotta, like you said, you gotta have upkeep. It's just like if you have a high performance car, you gotta have that car checked up and fine tuned. All these race cars, they're fine tuning that car every race. And so you have to look at that. You have to be able to keep your body fine tuned by giving it what it needs, exercising the body, making sure you get the proper nutrition. Make sure if you do have a significant deficit in vitamin D or vitamin C or whatever, that you fulfill that deficit so that your body can keep running.
I call what you did kind of a cocktail that you gave your patients. And really, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up, besides the text, was I was literally in ICU with COVID. And that's when they really did not know. And I had found a doctor, an internal medicine doctor, who dealt in infectious diseases. And I actually took his cocktail. 2 days later, Dr. Taylor, I walked out of that hospital. Now, I'm not saying, everybody's body is different, but I want people to understand that how you treat patients now, it's sort of a holistic way, but what I love about it is you try to find out what the problem is. You don't just hand someone a pill. And with weight loss, that's what we see with weight loss. Here's a pill. And there's so much more to it, Dr. Taylor.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'll tell you. I know a lot of people, we're in a new market now, but we wrote 2 books called Are Your Hormones Making You Sick? And we wrote another book called The Stress Connection. And the Are Your Hormones Making You Sick is, that's talking about looking at hormones a different way, using saliva testing, bioidentical hormones and all that. And so here's what happened is that I was treating people with progesterone and estrogen, and the patients would come back 3 or 4 months later and say that they had lost, 10 pounds or 5 pounds, whatever. And they had been trying and trying. And that's what helped me make this connection between hormone balance and weight. And one of the things I tell all of my patients is that you can't diet and exercise your way past a hormone problem. And that's whether it's a female or male hormone problem, or it's a problem of the second book that we were talking about, is the stress connection, because stress can also cause it to be difficult to lose weight or to make you gain weight. So that's how I kind of got into weight loss, is understanding how hormones affect it. And then I figured out, how the gut affects it, how inflammation affects weight loss. So a lot of times weight gain or inability to control weight is a sign to say that something is not right. Homeostasis, you're not in balance. And the weight is just a symptom of something deeper. And so we try to look at that, because maybe 65% of the time when you talk about calories in and calories out is what controls weight. Yeah, that's probably right. 65% of the time. But there's another 35-40% of people that they'll have calories in and calories out, and it's perfect, and they don't lose a pound. And a lot of times there's an underlying reason for that, and you have to look for that reason to allow them. And I always tell patients, hey, even if we fix your hormones and things are going great, it doesn't mean you can go out and start eating Twinkies. I tell them that, hey, if your hormones are correct, then your effort should equal your results. But if your hormones are not in balance, a lot of times your effort doesn't equal the results.
I think if there's anything positive about COVID was we learned about telemedicine. And
Yeah.
I wanted to bring telemedicine up because we have people now from all over the country watching your show. You're out of the Atlanta, Georgia area, but tell people how they can come to you, become a patient. And if you got a broken leg, don't call Dr. Taylor.
Yeah. It's not going to help much. But you can go to our website, taylormedicalgroup.net. You can give us a call at 678-443-4000. You can email us at info@taylormedicalgroup.net. But yeah, telemedicine is great because most of the things I do don't allow me, other than giving IVs, I don't have to physically lay hands on you. We can send you a saliva test kit. You send it off. I'll get the results. You have a telemedicine consult, and then we can do whatever we need to do. So for those types of things and some other weight loss things, and I really encourage you to go to our website. We really try to have a lot of information on that website. And right now I'm actually in the warehouse of our supplement group, our supplement company, Taylor MD Formulations. And that's a company that when you're talking about cocktails, we formed this company because a lot of times when you're dealing in nutritional supplements, you have to take 10 supplements because there are all these individual B1, B2, B3, vitamin E, all of that. So when you talk about cocktails, in nature, natural things work better in synergy, where a little bit of a lot of several things that focus on the same system work better than using a lot of just one individual herb or supplement. So we try to have these combination of nutrients or herbs or whatever. We try to have a combination of them that synergistically work better than if I gave you several individual ones, and it's a lot less expensive. Instead of selling you 6 or 7 $30 supplements, we can sell you one that has everything you need, and that's $30 or $35, because we think that long term is more likely you're going to stay on something like that than something that's cost you $200-300 a month. So it's Taylor MD Formulations. And so those are our two companies. We have those two books. And again, both websites have a lot of free information to help you to understand your health in a little different way.
One of our most popular shows have been on stress, and we will be talking a lot about stress, especially people who are looking to lose weight, how important stress is. And we'll be talking about that. I want to just touch on one of the most popular words right now are the injections, Dr. Taylor. Everybody wants to know about the injections. Because I have kidney problems and I'm on Medicare, I had to go through my kidney doctor, and because one of the things he says, you got to lose weight. So he put me on, I guess it's was one of the first ones out. The big O.
Ozempic Ozempic. Yeah.
Yes. And I got to tell you, it actually works, but it's
Oh,
so
yeah.
strange, Dr. Taylor. I could used to look at a pizza and go, I could probably eat the whole pizza. Now, after one slice, I'm like, it's
Yeah.
so weird how it affects the brain.
I know. That's why I tell my patients, we don't do anything in our office, hardly ever, that we haven't tried ourselves. So, I did it. My wife did it. We both lost 20, 25 pounds, and I've kept it off. And you're right. Uh, it has changed my brain. I used to, I had to have something sweet after dinner. Now, I don't. I mean, used to drink a little wine at dinner. I don't like it anymore. So and I'm on maintenance where I only take a small dose once a month. That's all I do
Okay.
to try and maintain my weight.
Oh,
And yeah, and so but the changes in the brain have lasted. I mean, it really does. It's not like I went back and started, chugging food in my mouth. It just didn't happen like that. So yeah, it works. And I'm going to tell you, in my practice, if you balance a woman's hormones so she feels, normal again, and you can help her lose weight, man, you got a patient who will follow you to the ends of the earth. That's
and tell everybody
those are,
about you too.
yeah. Beg your pardon?
And tell everybody about you also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're a walking advertisement for you. And I don't know. I haven't seen the Oprah special yet. She had a special about it because she's using it. Quit Weight Watchers or gave up her seat on the Weight Watchers board
Yes.
because she was using Ozempic, and she came out with a special. I had a patient yesterday who had said that she had been thinking about it for several months, a year, and it was because she had a kidney issue also. She was worried about it. But anyway, she said she saw the Oprah special and that kind of changed her perspective. So I haven't seen it yet, but she must have put it in a positive light. But that's my experience. I've been using it in our office probably going on 2 years now. And we have actually the generic of it because sometimes it's very hard to get the brand name. And what we've also found, and it may not be that with Medicare, but with regular insurance, is that if you have an elevated hemoglobin A1C, they will pay for it because that's what it's supposed to do is lower the hemoglobin A1C. But then to renew it, they ask you, is your hemoglobin A1, they want to know if your hemoglobin A1C is still abnormal. And most of the time it's not. And then the insurance company will stop paying for it. So
Right.
it's this convoluted kind of thing. So that's what we're seeing now, where the insurance companies were paying for it a lot more. Now they're trying to, I think because so many people are on it, they're trying to figure out how they can stop paying for some people.
But you know what, though? If overweight leads to so many medical problems, you would think that they'd want to pay for that.
Yeah, but I think business people are short-sighted. They're looking at, okay, these are how many premiums we have coming in. This is how many claims we have going out. This is getting too big. We got to figure out how to stop paying these claims. They're thinking about this quarter's profit and loss margin. They're not thinking about 10 years from now they'll save money, because if they don't make money this month, they could lose their job. Or I am not thinking that's there. Healthcare is not about health or care. It's about money. that's what healthcare is about. It has nothing to do with your health. It's about who can make money and who is not going to make money.
How sad. Dr. Ted, I
Mhm.
want people also to know is I hate shots. I hate needles. But
Yeah.
this needle is so small, you don't
Yeah.
even feel it.
Yeah, yeah. I have patients who say the same thing, and then they do it, and they're like, "Oh, that was nothing. What was I worried?" I was like, "I was trying to tell you that."
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's
And
it. There's a
I
real,
haven't had any of the, a lot of the questions we're getting for your show, Dr. Taylor, are people who've said, "Hey, I've heard that there's side effects," but I
yeah,
haven't seen any of these side effects. And I
yeah,
wonder if people maybe start off too heavy of a dose, thinking it's going to
Yeah.
work faster and better,
Yeah.
and they don't
And
follow the instructions.
yeah. Yeah. That's it. You got to titrate up that dose. You start at a very low dose, but even at the low dose, people will lose weight. So it's not like, well, I will say most of the time, most people will still lose some weight even at that low dose. So you stay at a
Right.
dose for 4 weeks, then you double the dose. You do that for 4 weeks. You double the dose, do that for 4 weeks. And at least the way we do it in our office, by the 5th week, you are at its full dose. And we usually sell it as a 6-month program because
Mhm.
we need to get you up to that highest dose. And most people will lose 20 to 30 pounds because it says you should lose anywhere between 10 and 20% of your body weight. So most people will lose 20 to 30 pounds because the average, at least in our practice, has been about 5 pounds a month. And what you're
Yes.
talking about, how
Yes.
it changes your brain, is that I don't give people a special diet. I just say, take the shot. That's all I need you to do. I'm not telling you to do 50 grams of carbs. I don't tell them anything. And the medication makes you somehow it makes you eat correctly after a while.
It
You
is. It's
don't want
amazing.
things that you shouldn't eat. Yeah. It makes you not want to eat the things you should eat. So I don't give them any special instructions. Just make sure you take your shot. And every month they come in and we do a body composition analysis to make sure they're losing fat and not muscle. And sometimes what will happen, a patient will be very disappointed because maybe they only lost a pound. But if we do a body
Right.
composition, what we'll look and see is that, hey, wow, no, you lost 5 pounds of fat, but you gained 4 pounds of muscle, and you're
That's
holding on to a little extra water. So you lost the fat. That's what we're looking for. You gained muscle. That's what we're looking for. So the scale does not always tell the whole story. Uh, a lot of people, they will like the way they look, even though their weight is not where they thought they wanted it, because body composition can make you look good at a weight that you don't think you look good at because you have less fat and more muscle. Because all of these athletes, these professional athletes, if you look at BMI, body mass index, they're all obese, but they're not. They're not obese, but they have so much
right.
muscle weight and so their BMI is messed up. Or says obesity, but their body composition is of a well-trained athlete.
One thing you have to be patient though. This is
Yeah.
not something that happens overnight. I think I lose about, maybe 2 pounds a week, which
Yeah.
doesn't sound like very much, but it's better. First of all, it's better than gaining 2 pounds a week.
Yeah. Yeah. And let me tell you what else I've noticed in my practice over 2 years is that this is the one drug for weight loss that works better for women than men. Most of the time, it's
Wow.
always the opposite. If a man does a diet, he's going to lose 20 pounds and the wife will lose 5. You always see that. This, I tell you, consistently, my women will lose 5 pounds a week. 5 pounds a month, and men it's slower. I don't. I haven't quite understood it, but that has been the pattern I've seen. So I'm not surprised that you say yours is 2 pounds when I say 5 pounds, because I was initially an OBGYN, probably 80% of my practice is women. So that's how I think.
Right.
But I've seen in that 20% of men who are doing semaglutide that they don't get the greatest results that I see in women. And I'm not quite sure. I need to look and see if other people have noticed that, but I've definitely noticed that.
Well, Dr. Taylor, I start off the show. We are so lucky to have you. Our viewers are so lucky to have you. You're going to be with us every month. I'm hoping we can get into stress next time because it plays such a big part on weight loss. Tell everybody how they can reach you, Dr. Taylor.
Yeah, probably the best is to go to our website, taylormedicalgroup.net. You can email us at info@taylormedicalgroup.net. Make sure you put the .net in there, not .com. And then also we have our other website, Taylor MD Formulations. where you can look at our product categories. And then also there's just the health information on both of those sites. So we try to help, this is what I'll tell you. Patients go out and read stuff and come and ask me, what do I think about it? And I learn a lot from the patients, because the patients they're doing in-depth research on their issues. And then they come and ask me. And a lot of times, I learn a lot from patients. That's why we call it a medical practice, because you should always be learning. And so I need to stop. Steve, you get me on my soapbox, I can really go. So I know we have a limited time. So
we happen to love your soapbox, Dr. Taylor.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you had a wonderful Easter. God bless you. We'll see you soon.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot.
That's Dr. Eldred Taylor. He is such a godsend. He's such a wonderful doctor, and even his formulations, his supplements. Give him a call, 678-443-4000. That's it for us today. We'll be back with you again next week with more Ask the Experts. See you soon.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.